Hey friends, welcome back to Faith to Impact. It's your host, Dustin Hill. It's great to be with you. I hope you're excited for an amazing week. And it's happy Monday to you. And I'm excited to share a story with you that happened over the weekend. And last week, it actually ties in perfectly, which I feel grateful to God for, but I feel like that it ties in perfectly with, wrapping up as far as, going through the core pillars. So we talked about faith and family and impact and how all those are important over the last few episodes. And then today, I really feel like this actually ties it all together, which is so cool. And I just am grateful to God for that. And so what happened is over the weekend, if anyone has kids, that they lose things, right? Like they lose things quite a bit. And so some of our boys, it's like, hey dad, I can't find my shoes. Like, where are my shoes? And it's kind of like, well, hey, when you get home, if you actually just like put them on the shelf, then they'll be there, right? If you take them off random places, then but anyways, so we lost them and I didn't, lecture him then, but I was like, okay, well, let's go look for him. So I get downstairs and we're looking around and I start looking for a minute and it sounds like he's looked different places. Like, oh, did you look under the bed? Did you look under these other places? And he's like, yeah, I already did. He's kind of frustrated. And so I say, well, hey, did you say a prayer about it? And he said, no, kind of this like upset like face of like, whatever, why would I do that type of thing. We're like, okay, well, let's say a prayer. So we knelt down and I asked him, hey, do you want to say it? Just, seeing if he would. I figured he was in kind of a bad mood, so he probably wouldn't want to, but I figured might as well offer. And he said no. So I was like, okay, well, I'll say it. So we said a quick prayer, just said what we're grateful for. And then, asked for help to find the shoes. And then we, finished the prayer and I asked him, hey, did you have any thoughts come to mind or anything that you might know where they're at now? And he's like, no, I didn't. And again, still a little bit kind of grumpy about it, but I was like, okay, well, I started looking around. Well, let me see under the bed. Let me look over here. And he's kind of like, well, I already did that and stuff. And then I get over to, one of the beds and there's a blanket there. And I just remember I started talking to him saying, hey, well, here's the thing. Like, we need to actually be like, we have to look for it too. It can't just pray. Like, we also have to like actually go and do it, because then God can help us as we're taking action, as we're going and doing that. And so then I start to, basically just as I'm saying that, I'm like pulling up this blanket just because it was on the ground and I guess I was going to look under it. I don't totally remember, I guess, but so I'd pick it up and there are shoes and it was just, and then hey, Parker, and like he looks over and then he sees the shoes and he's happy about it. And so it's really cool. And it was awesome that, hey, we were able to say that prayer and then to be able to go and look for it, which obviously shows the importance of, right, having faith, but then taking action. But what I thought was really cool is if I look at this moment and reflect on it, it's like faith, family, and impact are the theme of it, right? Well, first of all, we exercise our faith. We said, okay, hey, we need to pray to God and ask for help. Like we need to just trust in him and say, hey, he can help us even with this tiny thing. This is like such a small thing, but he can totally help us with that. And so that's what we did. We said a prayer. We had that faith in God. And then family, like how was that impacted there? Well, faith is important to me and I know it is to my kids, and maybe they don't, they have varying levels of interest at different times, but it was a great time for me to be able to show my love to my son, to be able to help him in a kind way and to be able to do that, and to help him with faith as well, which is what goes into impact. Is I really feel like that I was able to impact him by having a small experience with God as a family, that I was able to help him to see, hey, look, if we pray and then we work for it, we can see things happen. And so to me, it's really cool that we could do that. And I feel like with the impact, I have, obviously a lot of about, Faith Impact Plus, the membership I'm creating and these mini summits, which I'll be doing going forward. And I'm super excited about that. And I know that that's going to be a great way that I can impact the world. However, I'm not going to forget about the impact that I made on my son. Like that to me is super valuable and more valuable than impacting the world in a sense. Like if I don't impact my own family, then it doesn't really matter if I impact the world. And so to me, this just shows an amazing example of, hey, faith, family, and impact, and how those things are at play each and every day, and that they're super important, and that it's important for us to be strong in our faith, to be strong in our family, and to be able to be making an impact. And so I want you to continue to look at ways that you can do that you can see, hey, how can I be stronger in my faith? How can I be closer to my family? How can I be making an impact in the world? And in the world includes in your family, right? Like that is part of the world. And so I want you to remember that and to think about that, because it's it's super important. And these 3 core pillars are what we're going to continue to be talking about. So now this is a good way to kind of wrap it up as far as, introducing these topics. And then in the future, we'll be diving into, these different areas of how can we be stronger in our faith, how can we be closer to our family, and how can we be making an impact, which is great. I did want to as well give you a quick update as far as before I called them challenges of what I'm going to be doing. I actually am going to be calling them mini summits. So since we haven't actually done them yet, I feel okay like rebranding it already. But challenges are great. I think challenges are awesome, and the summit will have kind of a challenge aspect to it, but it's not your traditional challenge. And so to me, really what it is it's a summit, but it's a mini summit. So it's really bringing together people every month that can uplift and inspire you. And so, but it's not going to be a massive thing, because a lot of summits are like 15 to 30 people is probably the average. Whereas with this, it's like 5 people. So it's 5 people every month, which is great because it's easier to consume. It'll be easy for me to put on, and I'm just super excited about letting you know about that. So I've already started reaching out to some awesome speakers, have some people that are interested. And so I'm really excited to be able to reveal some of the more details coming up. But May 24th, make sure you mark your calendar for that, because that's going to be the first ever Faith to Impact mini summit. And I'm just looking forward to getting this started and then going forward, because it's just going to be a lot of fun to have these mini summits going. And part of, for me, just part of the impact side of that is I need to get like a system going. And so that's really my goal for the next couple of months, is to get this system rolling so that it's going to be a lot easier going forward. And I've already, started some of that, and it's been so much easier that I have that kind of system set up. So excited to be able to talk about that too, because I know we're in this for impact too. So for those of you that are interested in, potentially running a mini summit or doing some of these different things, that could be helpful too. But thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And I hope you have an amazing day and a blessed week, and that you'll continue to tune in so that you can make a difference in your faith, your family, and your impact. So thanks so much.